Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
You are now tuned in to this week's episode of our podcast. Today we are going to interview some of the greatest and most influential minds in our field. By sharing our collective expertise, we will show you how to harness, control, and use your own skill set to achieve ultimate success and live the life you want. And now, please welcome your host.
So good to have you once again. This is Omobola Stephen. You're also on Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen. Now, if you want to be a guest on my show, why not hook up with me? Just mail me at omobolastephen.o at outlook.com. And if you want to catch up with any of my missed episodes, simply go online and search for Life Well Lived by Omobola Stephen on any podcast distribution that you come across online. And you have a great time listening to the show. Today, I have Alan Cox, who is a mental health change maker on a mission to change the narratives around mental health. Welcome to the show with me, Alan Cox.
Yeah, pleasure to be here, Omobola. Really good, really excited to talk to you.
Very excited to have you on the show once again, Alan Cox. Now, Alan, I understand that you have hit rock bottom multiple times, right? And made numerous suicidal attempts. How were you able to bounce back?
I think the short answer is quite by accident. I basically started on a journey of educating myself. I think it would be fair to say that for most of my adult life, and I'm probably the same as 99% of all human beings here, actually. For most of my adult life, I didn't understand what was going on in my brain. And, so as a result of, quite an abusive and traumatic childhood, I probably grew up with a much lower resilience than most people. So, things that might have upset some people knocked me back a long way. And if you had a better understanding, or if I had a better understanding of just what emotions are, what anxiety is, what panic, what those things are in terms of chemistry, physiology, all of those kinds of things, I think I would have been much better able to cope with what was going on and to recover more quickly. But when like the most serious time of all happened, when I had a major mental breakdown after nearly getting killed in the Canterbury earthquakes here in New Zealand, that was as low as it ever got for me. And the way I got out of that was really through just chance discovery of what's going on in the brain. And I just really kind of just started soaking up that information, and the more I soaked it up, the more I felt that my life was changing around.
Right. Alan, what's the views about mental well-being? Do you want to share an insight?
What? Sorry, say it again.
What's the views about mental well-being?
I'm not quite hearing what you're saying. What's the feeling?
Yeah, what's the views about mental well-being?
What's the fields?
Yes, what's the views about mental well-being? Why are we talking about it? Why is this so important? Why should we focus on it?
Right. Well, there's actually many reasons to focus on it. I think that much of the narrative that's around the world, really, when we ever hear about mental health, it seems to be really focused on poor mental health. And certainly that's a very important area to focus on, because, you know, let's face it, probably around 20 to 25% of our population have poor mental health, right? And that has a, you know, it's a huge, I mean, not only is it a huge personal problem for all of those people that are suffering, it's also a massive social cost. It's a massive burden on health systems. What many people don't actually realize, and, you know, I really would like business leaders to kind of prick their ears up right now, is that it's the number one cost to enterprise. And, you know, I just continuously get amazed by just how little attention mental well-being has in workplaces. And, you know, I think, you know, as kind of not custodians, but as people, as organizations are caring for this group of people, just for moral reasons, they should look after them. But even if a company doesn't have a moral bone in their body and they're just run by bean counters, they should still be doing it, because it's costing them huge amounts of money. And the other big area that's kind of it's not really left field, but it's one that is not too far in the distance, but nobody really is doing much about it, is that if you look at the top skills that are required in the future of work, right? You know, you go and Google World Economic Forum future job skills, right? Just go and Google it. If you look at the top 10 skills that's required, it's things like being able to solve problems, it's mental resilience, it's creativity. Nearly all of the skills that are in that top 10 skills for the future, like, and when I say the future, they're talking like 5 to 10 years time, they nearly all require you to have strong mental well-being and strong mental fitness. So it's in addition to the argument around, you know, we should be talking about mental health to stop wasting all this money, right? But in addition to that, there's an even much bigger opportunity to say, well, if we actually moved, you know, if we increase the well-being of our population and all the people that work for us, our company is going to actually outbeat the competition. Our country is going to outbeat, you know, the other countries in the world, because we've got great brains, right? And no one's talking about it, but it's one of those things that kind of almost makes me laugh, because it's so blooming obvious. It's like it's one of those things that you feel like slapping your head, hand on your head, because you know, like, you know, it's like all these people that are so smart and leading companies and leading countries, they just don't get it. They just really don't get it. They're just doing everything the old way. You know, they'll keep on spending money on things like, you know, they'll spend a little bit of money on doing workplace, say, like workshops, even though all of the people that really need to be at the workshops won't get a look in, because the only people that go to workshops that try and get out of work, right? And also even if all of even if all of the people that really needed to go to these workshops, if they were in the room, 97% of what they receive at that workshop, they would have forgotten by the time they walk out the door. And then by the following month, nearly all of it is gone. It's such a stupid waste of money, yet it's what we've always done, right?
Yeah.
So we've got to start doing things differently. And you know, in the future, it will be, you know, I hate to say it, but it'll be the brightest of us that really see the light, really understand the value of mental health and well-being as a, you know, an economic and social and innovation value. You know, they're the companies that will win, right?
Sure.
You know, you've only got to look at the examples out there. The companies that are doing it, they're winning. They're all winning.
Right. Now, Alan, you emphasize workplace, right, in your earlier discussion. Can you just share tips on how we can promote mental well-being in the workplace?
One of my biggest tips is you really have to engage the leadership to be the people that are not just promoting well-being, but they're being seen to be doing it, right? What we currently have in workplaces is like this thing about well-being promotion. Again, it's one of those things that just doesn't work, right? You know, and I know I'm probably going to be shot down a little bit by various people, but, you know, putting emails out, putting you know, things up on the internet, putting you know, running like a well-being challenge and all those things. We've been doing those things for 10, 20 years, yet well-being has been getting worse, right? So if you look at the fundament, again, it comes down to like really simple basics, right? You think, well, what is good leadership, right? You know, and I often think about say like a squadron leader in like you know, in a troop in battle, right? The squadron leader has the respect of all of his troops because he's always the one out front demonstrating what he wants of his men and women, right? You know, you don't get a squadron leader, male or female, saying, I want you to go and do this mission, and by the way, I'll just stay here and make a cup of tea ready for when you get back, right? And this is the same principle with mental health promotion at work. You need leaders to be standing up in front of their people saying, hey guys, yeah, you know, I've had troubles as well. You know, almost everyone on the planet has. So there's not, you know, leaders need to learn to be vulnerable. They need, you know, if they can be vulnerable and share their stories, if they can share with their people what they are doing to work on their mental well-being. You know, for example, hey guys, you know, what have we done this week for looking after ourselves? You know, I made sure that I had some me time in nature at the weekend. You know, just having the grass on my feet or the sand on my feet really recharged my battery. You know, the other thing I've done, I worked out that a lot of my friends that I was going for a beer with, you know, imagine this at a construction site. This is your site manager, right? Imagine your site manager saying, you know, it's all of your hardened, you know, construction men, right? Or, you know, women, sorry. But imagine that person saying, oh yeah, I worked out that the people that I was going for a beer with every week, they were actually not making me feel good. You know, they you know, they all kind of poke at each other, and I always come